Hello, everybody. Hi, my name is Eve. This is Eve's Creations Paint Party. It's Friday night. What? I don't have anything to show you because tonight's how-to perspective, right? How to make things far away, how to make things up close, how to make things in the middle so they look like they're going away. I'm going to cover all those things with you tonight. And I do have a palette poured. It's the same colors we always use. It is white, yellow, blue, and black. If I'm using a certain brush, I'll let you know what I'm using. It's always the same brushes. Big Boy, 3 Fluffies, Mini Me, Tiny, Nifties, right? If you want the brushes to do every single video that I have on YouTube, you can order them. You just direct message me, and I have brush sets available. So keep that in mind. Say hello if you're hanging out with me tonight. Let me know if anyone's hanging out with me tonight, because we'll put roll call together. Okay, and I'm going to put a background on here real quick. And we're going to have people come in. I'm a little late to start, so everybody's got to find me. Oh, man. It's one of those Fridays. I was outside. It was nice out. What are you going to do? Those of you following my Make 'em Up journey, I went with spring green. So that's what you get. So, let me throw a background on here real quick. I'm going to use Big Boy 1-inch flat, and then we'll get started on the perspective stuff, okay? And everybody will come in and say hello. Hello, Joan. How are you doing, darling? What's going on, sweetheart? Hey, Tina B. How are you, darling? Tina B, my OG is in the house. Hello, guys. Hi. I'm here. So, I'm throwing a background on real fast so I can show you guys perspective tonight. And that's where we're going with this. So, I want a nice sunny... hello, Audra. How are you doing, sweetheart? I want a nice sunny background, so I'm grabbing yellow and white. Yellow and white. I understand, Tina. I understand. I was outside, and I don't know. I came inside. I thought I had enough time for everything, and then it just got away from me. So here we are. But we are going to learn lots of stuff tonight. And then this, what I'm painting, is going to be next week's. So I'm going to learn you stuff on this canvas tonight, and then I'm going to schmooze it up, and it's going to be next week's painting. So a little bit of a sneaky peek on the whole entire process of making the paintings to teach you guys. How's everybody doing tonight? What's going on? It's Friday. So Joan, if you're paying attention, because you like to do your backgrounds, I started with yellow and white. Okay? Yes, it was windy for us too today. It was windy for us too. I wasn't out for very long. I had to clean something. I got a window fan from my sister, and it was, for lack of a better term, it was disgusting. So I took it outside and scrubbed it all up and letting it dry, and everybody keep your fingers crossed that it will turn on. So everybody say some little blessings to the fan gods, because oh, I scrubbed the dickens out of that thing today. How y'all doing out there? What's going on, guys? You wanted how-to perspective. Let me know if there's certain things you want me to show you. Okay, I have in mind things I want to show you. How to create the depth, how to create something coming towards you, how to do all the in-between parts. But if there's something else, let me know. What's up, Marcia? How are you, sweetheart? So I am just throwing the background on here real quick, because this is going to be next week's painting. And I already have paint all over me. I don't know how that happens, but here we are. Here we are. I got the paint all over me already. It's all over me. Do 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 do. Da 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 da. Yep, I put my makeup on and I saw what time it was and I was like, you know what? Let me just tell them that I'm going to be running late because it was becoming I was already a few minutes late and it was becoming very stressful. So I was like, let me just post real quick that I'll be on in a minute because, hi, Robert. How are you, darling? Hello, 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 sweetie. What's going on? It's Friday. Hubby's home. Okay, so we have a very pretty yellow background, just like that. All right, and I am going to put green. I am going to put green down for the bottom part. Okay, still working with Big Boy, still working with my 1-inch flat, and we are going to put green down. What's up, Shirley? How are you doing, sweetheart? Hello, 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 Shirley. So, I didn't go into telling you guys anything yet. I'm guessing that's exactly what hubby said, Tina B. Alright, now I'm going to grab blue, I'm going to grab yellow, and I'm going to grab some white. Okay, so perspective is pretty much how do things look going away from you or coming towards you, right? Depth is another word that people use. And, you know, we want to learn about how to make things look near and far, right? Get into Sesame Street. Near and far. Near and far. Did I make you dizzy? Okay. One way to do that is when you want something further away, thus the landscape, you're going to make it darker. You're going to make it darker the further away it is. Okay, so we're going to make this, I'm adding just blue to this yellow. Right? Just blue to this yellow. Notice I'm moving the brush to do a straight line, not the hand. Right? Just moving the brush. What's up, Debbie? How are you? Hello, 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 Sandy. How you doing, sweetheart? So I moved the brush, not the hand, to do my line across. What's up, Debbie? Da 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 da. And I'm grabbing just blue because I want this to be darker back here. So when something's further away, it's darker. It's darker and you're going to see less detail. Okay, so we're going to make that darker and then, right, grabbing mostly blue, and then I'm going to make it gradually lighter as it's coming towards me. Enjoying your night? Glad to hear it, darling. So I'm grabbing just blue again. And I'm going to mix this in. Okay, and then I'm going to add more yellow as I get closer to me. Right? I'm going to add some more yellow to start lightening it up. More yellow. Okay. And I already had the white on here, so I do have white in my brush. Not very much, though. And I'm going to swipe back and forth to get that all to blend together. And then here, I'm going to add blue, I'm going to add yellow, and I'm going to add white. So this is nice and light because this is the part that's going to be closest to me, right? So that is one way to create perspective just by putting your background in. You make this darker and then lighter as it comes towards you. And I am just swiping back and forth, going in up and then down to get this to all blend together. Up and then down, up and then down. Okay, gonna grab some more paint. I'm gonna grab some more yellow. I'm gonna grab some more blue. I'm gonna grab some more whites. Up and down into the darker area, into the lighter area. Right? Get it all to blend together. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. And I just keep, the more I swipe back and forth, the more it's going to blend together. Those of you that missed me saying it, this is going to be the preliminary to the painting on Friday. So I got a hair in here. If you're wondering why I'm scraping the canvas and making a weird spot, because there's a hair on there. There's still a hair. Get off the canvas. Get off. Get off the canvas. Okay. Now, I'm going to dip my brush into some water. I'm going to swirl, tap, dab them. Clean the brush off. Not crazy clean them. Just get all the goopy gobby off. Hello, 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 Carolyn. I'm going to dip them into some water. I'm going to do the horizontal drip so it's holding more water, and I'm going to go from this part down. And this is going to soften everything together and make it smooth and nice. And then when I go all the way down, I'm going to come up. And this is going to help blend and make it soft and smooth all the way up, all the way down. Just like that. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. And, right, perspective. Doesn't that look further away? Doesn't that look closer? And all I did was make that darker and this lighter. Doesn't your eye feel like it's going further into the distance as you look into the middle of the canvas? That easy. One of the main things to remember. Further away it is, darker, less details. That's it. That's the whole thing. Have a good night. I'll see you later. Now. Lesson over. Now. I'm just teasing, guys. Don't forget, stars is enabled. I also have Venmo and PayPal. All of my videos are free to watch. Tips are appreciated because that is the only thing that keeps the lights on. And thank you, Sandy. I got to write Carolyn down, and I got to write Kimberly down, and I just dropped something. Let's see. I got Sandy. I got Debbie. All right, now I got to write Carolyn. Carolyn is in the house, and Kimberly. Thank you, Sandy. Thank you so much. We're doing roll call. Okay, also remember, all of my videos are available. That's awesome, Joan. You have your shirt on tonight? That's awesome. All of my videos are available on YouTube. That is Eve's Creations Paint Party on YouTube. Okay, so easy enough to remember. They are all there, 300 and something videos. They all use the same brushes. They all use the same paint. Okay, so nice and easy for you guys to be able to get your supplies and start painting. Easy peasy lemon squeezy, just like Joan's shirt says. Also, if you'd like a painting shirt, I don't have my website up yet, so you can easily direct message me and I will send you the details on the shirts. I also have Venmo and PayPal to send support. So, if you don't want to do the stars, we have Venmo, we have PayPal. Brush sets are also available if you direct message me. Okay, they will be increasing once my website is done. So if you were thinking about getting a set, I strongly suggest that you get a set before I get my act together and make a website. And I'm almost there. A few more buttons. I know I said that last time, but every time I think it's a few more buttons, then it's a few more buttons. I'm stalling so this dries. Can you tell? I'm inserting all of my commercials. Alright, let's put some light on that bad boy. Let's see. What else do I tell you? All the videos are kid friendly, so I'm going to try to watch this thing. If you guys could watch your comments. And, videos on YouTube. Oh, so Facebook, they'll get deleted after 30 days. And then you have to head over to YouTube. Hit the subscribe button on YouTube. It doesn't cost you a thing, and you get notified when a new video is posted. I also, all those little reels, all those little short clips of me painting stuff, that's all on YouTube too, under shorts. So, head on over, guys. What else? Oh, let me know if there's any more how-tos, and I'm doing perspective tonight. Let me know if there's anything you want to learn with perspective as we're doing this tonight. I have my idea of what I want to show you guys, but if there's something that you want to learn in particular, let me know. Alright, and I'll make sure I incorporate it, or we're going to cover it anyway. So, you learned your first thing tonight. How simple is that? Right? Further away, darker it is, less detail there is. Remember the clovers? Joan, you remember the clovers? Clovers almost took you out. Remember how we made them smaller and darker the further away they are? Oh, is it? Do I look like I'm kung fu fighting? Am I in one of those kung fu movies? The sound's lagging? Alright, I'll get off camera so this way the sound don't lag anymore. And you won't see how my mouth is moving. Oh. Okay, I need to pour more paint. We're going to put in a fence. And I did this as a Hey Eve series. I did two things in a Hey Eve series. One thing I did was crosses for Memorial Day. And I also did a fence that had flowers all over it. So, we are doing the same type of concept. Now, I want my fence. Hey, Jay, what's going on, sweetheart? Everybody say hey to Jay. He's one of my really good friends over on TikTok. So, it might just be you. That's okay. Mine was acting up, too. What's up, Jay? Say hey to all the ladies, sir. So, Jay's an artist, too, guys. We're learning about perspective tonight, Jay. Everybody give him a warm Eve's Creations family welcome. He's a really cool dude. Really good dude. Okay, so I want my fence to bend around and come towards me. Yeah, we're doing a how-to tonight. How to make things look further away and closer in perspective and all that kind of jazz. Okay, so I want it to go away. And as it comes closer, right, I want it to come closer to me towards the bottom of the canvas. So, that is what we're going to do. So, I am going to take a big boy. I'm going to swirl tap dab them. I'm going to get a nice edge on them. Nice and razor sharp. Swoop! Okay. And I'm going to take my white paint. just on the tip of my brush. Just the tip. Okay, still has that razor sharp edge. And I'm very lightly, very, very, very lightly going to start back here. I want this the smallest, thinnest line you've ever seen in your life. And I am going to do my curve towards me. Okay, I'm going to start a little bit below the horizon line here. Very lightly, I'm going to swoop this around. Just like that. That's right, Jay. That's right. All right. And I'm going to wipe off my brush. I'm going to load the paint the same way, just the tip of the brush. Behave, it's kid-friendly, Jay. Just the tip of the brush. See, just get here and you're already causing trouble. I'm going to go up here and I'm going to follow the same curve. But when I get down here, as I'm doing this, I'm going to make it go further and further away from the initial one. So it's really close here. And then as I curve it around, I'm going to make it go further and further away. Okay? And automatically, you cause trouble. Automatically, right, when you make things closer, they're bigger. And as you go further away, they get smaller. Okay? If you notice, your eye is already going to the distance just by those two lines. I'm going to wipe my brush off. I'm going to grab some more paint. And I'm going to take this right off the canvas. Thin, 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 thin. Okay, so swoop that. Thin, 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 thin. Swoop this. There you go. I'm going to wipe off my brush. And now I'm going to put in the fence posts. So, they're going to be smaller and closer together the further away, and then they get bigger and more space between them the closer they get. Okay, so now you can do this with a tiny brush if you want to. That's up to you. So they're going to be small and close together. Okay. And then as I come around to the curve, I'm going to start making them bigger and further apart. Just like that. Certainly does. Certainly does. Okay. Now, I want to make these thicker because they're bigger. So this is going to be thicker. So I am following the line I did. I am just pressing harder with the brush. And you can also straighten them out if you need to straighten them out. I'm going to add a little bit of blue. Hello, Becky. I'm going to add a little bit of blue to my brush. Give it a nice sharp edge, and I'm going to make these darker back here. And like I said, you could do this with a smaller brush if you need to. Grab a little bit of blue on my brush. Nice straight edge. Make the railing darker. Okay. Absolutely, Jay. You get your rest, sir. You're a hard worker. Hey, Stephanie. Stephanie, are blending the white with the blue on purpose? I'm doing it on purpose because when things are further away, they're going to be darker. And I'm going to lighten up the ones that are coming closer to me. Keep the questions coming, guys. Otherwise, we're going to be done in like 30 minutes. Absolutely, Jay. You have a great night, sir. You're welcome, Stephanie. Okay. Now, I'm going to take a little bit of paper towel because this guy got thick right in my sky. So I'm just taking damp paper towel and I'm wiping off where I oopsied. I don't have an original, Becky. We're doing a how-to tonight on perspective, but this is going to be Fridays. So once I'm done showing you all the perspective stuff, I'm going to use it for next Friday's painting. Okay. So, now you guys can totally see the land looks like it's going further away and the fence is going further away, right? These are smaller and closer together. And then as you come around, they start to get bigger and further away. You're welcome, sweetheart. And now I'm going to do, now these are going to be really big. Really big because I'm going to be putting a hat, got you guys, on one of the posts with the spring flowers on it. Okay? So the more I play with it, the bigger it's going to get. Shirt. Which is what I actually want, because I want my hat to be rather large. So in perspective, right, if you have an item that's small that you're making bigger, the bigger item has to be bigger also, okay? So another thing about perspective is the size of your shapes, okay? So you got to make sure, like if you're putting a hat on a fence, the hat is the size the hat's supposed to be. And the fence is the size that it's supposed to be, right? So you got to pay attention to your sizes, which we are, because we went smaller to bigger. And also pay attention to, that's kind of dimension though, but anyway, all those technical terms aside, it all plays a part, okay? Like if you were to put a hat on this, and you were to put it back here, it'd be really, really, really tiny. Okay, and I want to put a hat on this, and I want to put it on the fence post here. Okay, so I got to make sure that my hat and my fence are, really, Joan? You gotta make sure you do the instructions. That's right. You ordered that brush set like a year ago, so all the fluffies and the big boys should be in good shape. It's the smaller ones that are going to start going on you. That was mailed yesterday. That was mailed yesterday. Okay, so that being said, now I'm going to start putting my items in the painting, and I'm going to make sure I'm paying attention to the sizes of the items. So I want some trees, right? Can't have them. Could you make a smaller section of fence just bigger and still get a good perspective? You want it to be all, I give the care instructions on purpose. That's awesome. Instructions, who needs instructions? Throw that out. You want to make sure that it's all in sync with each other. You want to make sure that it's all gradually getting smaller, gradually getting bigger. Like if I made these really big, and then all of a sudden it goes to here, it's going to make your eye stop. It's not going to flow all the way through. Right, Stephanie, you got it, darling. Very good. I don't understand what you mean by half the size of this one. Yeah, now is when we're going to do the subtle changes. You'll see. Also, when you're doing your curve, don't make your curve too steep. Notice how my curve is going like this. If you make your curve too steep, right? If you make your curve too steep, right, like that, when you go to put your straights in there, they're going to run into each other. Okay, so you got to make sure that you're making your curve a nice gradual curve. So this way, when you put the straights in, they're not going to run into each other. Okay, so the curve plays a big part of this. If you go like this, these, when you go to put these in, any object it is, it could be buildings for a city, it could be anything, right? It could be trees, it could be any, like when we did the turkey, we did the trees all in a line. When we did the Christmas beach, the trees in the line and stuff like that. So make sure when you're making your curve or you're making your line, right? If you do this just making a line, okay, you could do this just making a line, but you want to make sure that it's at enough of an angle to put your lines in. If you make your line too steep and you go to put your posts in, they're all going to run into each other. So you don't want to do that. Instead of 12, make 6 and closer. Well, they'd be closer in the back and further away the closer you get. So say you're working on a smaller canvas and you don't have enough room to make as big of a, yes. If you don't have enough room, you'd still have to do the smaller to bigger gradually. Okay, so I want trees. Okay, I'm going to put a tree here, and I want to put a tree here. Which one's going to be bigger, 1 or 2? I understand. Yeah, you still, no matter the amount of posts that you have, you still got to make it bigger to smaller. Whether you have 6 posts, 2 is going to be bigger. Very good, Becky. Awesome. Great job, Tina. Yep, 2 is going to be bigger. So, I'm going to grab some black. I'm going to grab some red. I'm going to grab some yellow. I'm going to grab a microscopic amount of white. I'm going to grab some blue. And I made myself a light brown. Good job, guys. And I'm going to grab some more black to make this a darker brown, right? Further away is darker. Okay, I'm going to put Big Boy to a nice fine point again. And we're going to place our smaller tree right here. Okay, and number 2, you guys were right, is going to be bigger. So I'm going to put our bigger tree over here. I changed the painting. I'm not going to have it hanging on the fence anymore. Right? And I want my bigger tree to be lighter, so I'm going to grab some white paint. And I'm going to lighten my brown up. The light paint. So you guys were absolutely right. Right? This one's closer, that one's further away. And you could totally tell. Okay. Now, I'm going to put in flower bushes, right? We're going to put in bushes that flowers are going to be on. You guys nailed the smaller to bigger with the trees. Now, I'm going to grab a Fluffy. And I want to start here. So am I grabbing a small fluffy or a big fluffy? I'm starting here. Yeah. I don't think I've seen that. If I did see that, it was a long, long, long time ago. Small. Very good, Becky. Very good, Stephanie. Good job, guys. Yeah. See, you guys got it. Very good, Joan. Yeah, absolutely, guys. So, you guys got it. And literally, that's all there is to it. Smaller to bigger. Darker to lighter. And, less detail to more detail. That's it. And then there's the little tiny things you got to keep in mind, like making your curves so they're not that steep, or your straight lines so they're not that steep. We have our point going to here, right? If you had the point with the center, you'd have your lines coming out this way, and then it would be smaller to bigger with that perspective, right? There's different perspectives. This is a perspective that's going to a side point. You have a perspective that goes to the middle point, right? So it's the same concepts no matter where your point is as far as what you're going to. It's the same exact thing. It's the same exact concepts. Okay? So the only thing the point does is it gives you a reference, like that's where I'm coming from. And you make your lines accordingly. So, say, no matter where you begin, right, so I'll show you guys real quick, right, we did the point over to here. Say it's a middle point, right, we've done so many paintings, right, the path down the center, the city, New Year's Eve, we did so many paintings with a center point perspective, right, so here is the center point, right, you go out like that. If you're doing curves, now these are steep, so it would run into each other, right? You got to pay attention to that, right? If you do your center point and make it more wide, you're going to have an easier time going to the center, right? If you had your center point and you're doing your curves, same thing, okay? That would be a center point. If you had your point off on the side over here, right? It would be the same thing. You would do your curve off of that. Or you could do your line off of that, right? So it would be the same thing as this, just on the other side. You can have your point be, right? Say that's your, say this is your horizon. We did center, we did sides. You can have your point be here. When we did Paris Wisteria, the road that was bending around, that was an offside, I don't know the technical term. It's not in the middle and it's not all the way over. It's in the middle of that. And you do that, it's the same thing, right? You would do your curves the same way. Those get tricky though, because your line runs over itself when you're putting them in the way the bend is. So, exactly right, Becky. It doesn't matter where your point is. You just... Yes, we did that. We did Inside View or something where I had the ring of flowers. Like the helicopter view you're talking about. Or the inside view. That's really, really, really... that's really, really simple. all you would do, or like the trees that you look like you're looking up, we did a birch tree like that, like you were looking up the bark this way and then all the foliage was around it. You would have your point. You would have your point, and then you do a circle. And everything, like helicopter view, everything would come out of that circle, equal distance. So, say these were buildings. That would be a building. You could put a building here. So just think of a pinwheel or a wagon wheel. That would be a building. If you wanted a shorter building in between the two, you just cut it here. Say this is a really big building, right? You take it out of the circle, but you follow those same lines. Okay, and then say there's another little building here. But notice how everything's going towards that center. And it's the same thing, big to small, right? Big and closer to your point is smaller. Yep. So this, if you did details here, these would be smaller. And then as you get further away from your point, you're going to make them bigger. Like that. Hey, Kimberly, how you doing, sweetheart? So that would be your helicopter view. If you're wondering how I keep erasing this, I am just grabbing water on Big Boy and doing some smushy back and forth, and then I'm wiping it with a paper towel. So if you're wondering how am I erasing with acrylic paint, that's what I'm doing. And then I'll fix my colors later. Thank you, darling. Because I'm starting to rub the initial color off, but that's okay. I will fix it later. So that is helicopter view. And inside view is the same thing. So just remember, wherever your point is, it's really small by the point and gets bigger the further away you get. That's it. Thanks, guys. How's everybody doing? You hanging tough? Let's take a little mental break. Whoo, saw it out a minute. I'll be right back. I'm out of liquid. Woosah it out a little bit. There we go. Let's do some roll call. Kimberly just came in. What's up? So Joan is here. Tina B, Audra, Robert is here. Marcia, Shirley, Sandy, Debbie, Carolyn, Kimberly, Jay, and Kimberly. Cheers, everybody. Okay. Don't forget, guys, Stars is enabled, Venmo, and PayPal. All right, back to our smushing. Back to our smushing. All right, Becky, you have a great night, sweetheart. Thank you so much for stopping by. I hope you don't start dreaming of buildings and fences and points and being a weird, twisted dolly dream of all these different things going on. Dream of flowers and butterflies in springtime. Alright. Like you guys answered before, smaller brush, further away. Darker or lighter? Am I going to make it... Awesome. I'm glad you guys are hanging tough with me, right? Am I learning yes? Are you learning here? Are you catching a good gist of what the deal is? Would I make it darker or lighter with the smaller brush starting here? Darker, very good. What's up, Carol? How you doing? Darker to lighter. Very good, guys. Awesome. Good job. See, you guys got this. You're so good. You did that. That was awesome. Hey, Carol. How you doing, honey? We're teaching perspective tonight. Very good, guys. See, even if you just answer to yourself, if you got the right answer, very good. All right? Tiny, 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 and darker. Now, as I get, you can't even see that, right? Hello. Let's try to make that so that you can see it, Eve. Okay. I'm doing great, Carol. How are you, sweetheart? All right. And then, as I make it come closer, I'm going to make it lighter. And I'm going to make it bigger. Following that curve. Everything's follow the curve. Follow the line, follow the curve. Follow the line, follow the curve. Same thing. And I have a dark green and a light green on my palette. See? Dark green, almost blue, light green. I smush those two in the middle to get the middle color. Okay, so that would be my middle color. So I started with the dark. Now, hi Tina M, how are you, sweetheart? And now I'm grabbing the middle, right? Darker, middle, lightest. So now I'm grabbing from the middle. And now I'm going to switch to a bigger brush. Big Fluffy in the house, large Fluffy in the house. And I'm going to grab that light green. Hello, 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 Tina M. How are you, darling? And I'm just going to take very small little taps and bring some of that into the darker area just to give it a little something, something. Thank you for the stars, Tina M. You're my first stars person. Thank you so much, darling. And yes, you can still add your shading and your highlights. You can. You just keep it so things are lighter and darker. Okay, so I'm not going to add much shade color, right, to the pieces that are closer to me. I'm just going to add a little bit of the blue. And then I'm going to grab the yellow with some whites, dab that, and then I could add some of the highlight color. And you make smaller pieces as you work your way back. And this is still going to be brighter, and you're going to see more detail in it. Just like that. And this is layer 1, right guys? So we know that as we add layer 2 and layer 3, we can add all those little details in here. Okay? So you guys know that as we get into more details, which is what we'll do Friday, next Friday, we can still all that stuff. Ah, thank you, Sharon. Thank you very much, sweetheart. That's awesome. You're doing good, Tina M. That's awesome, sweetheart. Thank you so much for the stars. Thank you, darling. I lost my pen. I lost my pen. Guess I gotta grab a new pen, because I lost the other one. There is no original. This is a how-to tonight. We're going to actually be painting this next Friday. Sharon's in the house. And Tina M came in slinging stars. Way to go, Tina M. Yep, so we are learning how to make things closer and further away. Okay, now somebody asked me about the fence, right? Am I going to keep it darker? Am I going to keep it lighter? What would I be doing to the fence to still keep the perspective? Okay, so to answer that, back here, I'm going to take a small, tiny brush. Mr. Nifty, if you guys send support of $5 or more, you get Mr. Nifty's for free. So just make sure you DM me your address so you can get your awesome little Nifties for free. And I'm going to make a light blue. Okay. Awesome, Tina M. That's awesome. And I'm going to come back here to the tiny little parts. And I'm just going to come in and I'm going to put my slats. I'm going to put my posts in front of the slats. But I'm still going to use the blue color. And then I'm going to take even darker blue. I'm grabbing just blue now with the paint that's on my brush. And I'm going to add some dark blue, little flicks, to just create some shadow around those posts. Not much, a little bit. Here, there, not everywhere. And I'm just going to create a little bit of shadow. On those post pieces. And I'm not going to worry about my tree being there. I'll repaint the tree. It's not that big of a deal. Okay. And then I could fix the tops of my fence. And then, as I get closer, I am just going to add more and more white to my blue paint. And I'm going to make my slats start to get a little bigger. Grab the dark blue, put some shadow in. Okay, add more white to my paint. So I'm doing, you know, like as I'm getting closer, I'm just gradually making my colors lighter. And then I'm going to start adding more and more details. Now I have more white in my blue. And I'm going to make my posts a little bit bigger. I'm going to make my slats a little bit bigger. You can switch to using a bigger brush at this point. But you know, why would I do that? I might as well just keep playing around with this small guy. Why grab a bigger brush? Okay, grab my darker blue. And you just work your way all the way. Now you're going to start seeing some more detail, right? So let's flicky do this darker blue in, because you're going to start seeing more details. So I'm going to flicky do this darker blue in. Right? And now I'm going to grab a bigger brush. I'm going to grab Mini-Me, who is a small shader. I'm going to add more white to my blue. Right? I'm going to make my slats bigger. So they are in perspective with the smaller ones that I wound up making bigger because I played with them. I'm doing straight lines now, but following that curve, right? I'm doing straight lines, but I'm following that curve. And I'm going to start flicky doing the paint so I get more of the texture and the details. So remember that curved line we put in way in the beginning? We're still following that. I'm going to grab the darker blue. Wipe off my brush. Do a little zigzag zoom action. Right, because we're going to see more details now. And if you make one bigger by mistake, you got to work all the way backwards and make the rest bigger. So be careful that you're not, like this one I'm going to cover with grass, so I'm not going to worry about the fact that I made this one a lot bigger. Okay? But notice I'm adding more detail. I'm adding lighter colors. But it's a gradual. And all I did was add more white to my blue paint. Right? Follow that curve. Right? Straighten all your pieces out. Make sure that each piece makes sense with the piece that's next to it. So even though I'm putting darker and lighters, over here, it's a lot darker. Over here, it's darker, but it's not as dark. That makes sense? Okay, so you can do your darks and your lights, but still have that gradual change of it being darker to lighter. Like I said, you just make your two colors, you're really dark, you're really light, and then play with what's in the middle. And just gradually move over in your pile of paint from your really, really dark pile to your lighter pile. And there is your fence or building or row of flowers or row of trees or anything that you're going to make in perspective, right? Easy peasy lemon squeezy, guys. And the same when I do the trees, the same when I do the flowers, right? When you go to add flowers in your bushes, right? You guys know the answer. They're going to be small over here and large over there. These are just going to be dots of color. These are going to be looking more and more like flowers, right? When I do my tree, this is going to be a smaller tree. Not as much detail, and this is going to be a bigger tree, lots of detail, and it'll keep that entire thing of it going away to the point that I picked. And the point that you pick, wherever you pick that point, it's the same concepts going to the point. Going to the point, right? So by the point, smaller, less detail, darker. The more you move away from that point, larger, more detail, lighter. And that's it. That's all you got to remember. That is all you got to remember as you're doing anything, any of your paintings, whether it be buildings, fences, rows of trees, flowers, anything that you're painting. Just remember darker, smaller, less detail. Further the way it is. Lighter, more detail, bigger, closer it is. And you marry the two in the middle just by adding a lighter color to your paint and gradually just make it lighter and lighter and lighter. So you get the in-between colors being cohesive, gelling all together with the darker to the lighter, right? You just kind of mix those two together, give yourself a little middle pile of paint, and that's going to be your middle stuff. That's it, guys. You guys got it. You nailed it. You answered every question correctly. We did the helicopter view. Just make the wheel. Your point's in the center. Same rules apply to the point. Closer to the point, smaller. So it doesn't matter where you put your point. Thank you, Tina M. I do have my piece of paper. I have my master's degree. It's in education. I don't know. You guys can see that. It might be flipped. Maybe if I show you this way. There it is. Master of Arts in Education. Oh, I should probably not show you my name. Oh well. Anybody out there that wants my real name, they could zoom in on that bad boy. So, I do pull from that education every once in a while to help you guys out. But, thank you so much for hanging out with me. If you don't have any more questions, we got it. You guys got it. You can totally do this. This is going to be fixed up and schmoozed for next Friday's painting. So, if you want to give a little head start, you know how to do that too. Alright guys, thank you so much Tina M for the stars. Thank you everybody hanging out with me tonight. Joan, Tina B, Audra, Marsha, Shirley, Sandy, Debbie, Carolyn, Kimberly, Jay, Kimberly, Tina M, Sharon, and Carol. You guys mean the world to me. Don't forget, hey! There you go, Joan. That's me. Ah, you snuck it. You saw it. So, you guys have an amazing evening. I love you all. Thank you, Tina M, for the stars. Y'all warm my heart. Okay? Ah, that's awesome, Marsha. Glad to hear it, darling. I'm happy that I can help and I can keep you guys having fun and keep you guys painting and making your paintings that much better. And, yeah, I know. Some of you already know. Anyway, I'm not in the witness protection program or anything, so it's okay. Alright, I'm gonna go. Alright, love yous. Bye. See you Friday.